Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Tuesday evening, July 23, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak of Atlantic hurricane season. That's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Leave a comment down below letting me know what the has been like in your area recently. Also feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so before we even take a look at what's happening across the Atlantic where we live, we need to first highlight what's happening across the Western Pacific. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Western Pacific as the sun is starting to come up over there, we can see a lot of clouds associated with the super typhoon that we've been watching. This is Super Typhoon Gami, and just for reference, here's Japan, here's China, here's the Philippines, and here is Taiwan. And Taiwan is definitely to the west of this system. We can see the eye that's trying to clear out. We can see the deep convection and the bad weather. Well, the cloud spinning in general associated with this super typhoon. We know super typhoons are basically the same thing as hurricanes. And we can see the deep convection, the yellows, oranges, reds, blacks, grays, whites, and even pinks in there. This is definitely a bad situation unfolding for Taiwan, especially where flooding is concerned. We know Taiwan is a very mountainous country, and this system is definitely going to be bringing even more rainfall to the region. So there's definitely going to be a lot of flash flooding, and we can see the track. If we remember earlier this week or last weekend, the track was more so forecasted to miss Taiwan and possibly hit China and then push possibly head into South Korea. And we can see as time went on how the track changed, no more so on a northern to northwestern track to possibly clip northern Taiwan. And we have the capital of Taiwan, Taipei, in the northern portions of the island. So it's definitely going to be a very bad situation for this country. And then we can see thereafter it should be right here across China by July 25. So after Taiwan gets nailed, China is definitely next in line. And if we take a look at the Doppler radar images, let's put these images into motion. As a matter of fact, we know Doppler radar images show the actual rainfall and satellite images show the cloud cover. And we just saw the satellite images, but look at the Doppler radar images. We can see the rainfall represented by the blues and greens that we know represent light to moderate rainfall. The yellows, oranges, reds represent some very heavy rainfall. And we can see that although the system is to the east of Taiwan, the strongest winds and the heaviest rain still to the east of the country, they're already being plagued by a lot of rainfall. Look at all of the yellows, oranges, reds that are already affecting portions of the island. I'm pretty sure that there's flooding already taking place, and there's a lot more rainfall to come with this system. As a matter of fact, as we take a look at the accumulated precipitation forecast from the GFS, this map shows all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 18th on Sunday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Sunday. And we can see the GFS definitely sure about the fact that they're going to be receiving not only the burgundy colors, they represent up to 175 millimeters of rainfall, but even the yellows that represent up to 350, 400, maybe close to 500 millimeters of rainfall. That is just ridiculous amounts of rainfall. So if you have friends or relatives who live or work in Taiwan or China, please ensure that you get in contact with them. Please ensure that you get them to ride this system out and keep safe as much as possible. I'm pretty sure that in the coming days we're going to be hearing a lot of bad news coming out from the major news sources, CNN, about what's happening across that part of the world, and it's going to be a very dire situation. If we take a look at the US National Hurricane Center 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook, we can see that as of their latest update that came out at 7:20 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is actually 6:20 p.m. Jamaica time, so over an hour ago, they still have nothing highlighted for possible tropical cyclone development over the next 7 days. However, if we take a look at the US Climate Prediction Center's Global Tropics Hazards Outlook, we can see that they still have a low chance probability of something forming around July 31 to August 6. We can see the reds and the whites, and we see even Jamaica, Cuba, Hispaniola, Puerto Rico, and the Eastern Caribbean highlighted. Something is going to be forming. Hopefully, it doesn't hit land at all. We can also see the light shades of greens right there to the east of there that represents an increase in rainfall. So we know all of that has to do with the numerous tropical waves coming off of Africa, and it even spills into the time period from August 7 to August 13, still showing a chance of possible tropical cyclone development during that time. But we know these things go. The Climate Prediction Center is not 100% set in stone. Sometimes these forecasts change, so we have to listen to what the Hurricane Center is saying on their 7-day outlook most of the times, because these maps are basically showing what the models are sniffing out, and it's a very bad idea to be looking at the models anytime 7 days out, because it's definitely subject to change. We have a lot of persons out there hyping up and saying, oh, there's something possibly heading to Florida, or whatever the case may be, looking at models more than 10 days out. That's just ridiculous, because we know these supercomputer models can change. So the farthest we can go is 7 days out, and as of what the Hurricane Center says, there's nothing expected within the next 7 days, so it doesn't make sense that we look at the Euro or the GFS models that far out. Either way, if we take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can still see that the entire Atlantic basin is being dominated by ridges of high pressure that we know are responsible for sending all of the easterly trade winds across the main development region into the Caribbean. We can see one tropical wave right here to the northeast of South America, a trough right here to the northeast of the Caribbean, another trough still plaguing portions of Florida as we speak. If we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can see the clouds associated with a trough right here across southern and eastern United States, the clouds associated with another trough that we just mentioned across section of Florida, and we can see clouds associated with the intertropical convergence zone right here, squashed to the south of the main development region, and we can also see the clouds associated with the tropical wave. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Tuesday, July 23. It was stated that we would have received some isolated rainfall across parts of eastern Jamaica in the morning. Then we'd have had some rainfall affecting sections of western Jamaica during Tuesday afternoon. And we know eastern parishes, when we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, so Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew. Western parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, so St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, and Trelawney. And what ended up happening? As early as 6:25 a.m., the infrared satellite images were posted on our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica. By the way, keep in mind that these posts aren't only made here on our Twitter page, but on our Instagram page at weather.jamaica, on our TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there, as we may post throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So we can definitely see when those infrared satellite images were posted, we had some clouds coming into sections of the eastern portion of the island. St. Thomas, eastern Portland might have gotten in on some isolated showers. As a matter of fact, I got woken up to some showers this morning in my portion of St. Thomas, so we definitely had an isolated shower or two. Even spilling into the afternoon hours, we got some isolated showers. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images that were posted at 3:15 p.m., we saw that the clouds were definitely pushing from east to west across the island. Look at that. Definitely bringing some isolated showers, even some thunderstorms into portion of western Jamaica. We see those sparkling yellow dots. So they definitely gotten on some isolated thunder shower activity. And if we take a look at the accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours from the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website, this map does indeed paint a picture of where we had the rainfall today. Definitely across eastern, central, and western Jamaica, more so inland areas of some central parishes than anything else. But we definitely got rain, and I'm sure that some persons are grateful for the little cool down. However, we saw that the corporate area didn't receive much in the way of rainfall at all. This is Crossroads, and we can see that as of 1:39 p.m. there wasn't much to see, just sunny conditions across the corporate area. By the way, if you'd like to see more live streams like this, feel free to visit See Jamaica's YouTube channel. They have a lot more streams over there. If we take a look at the visible satellite images of Jamaica before the sun went down, we can definitely see where we had those clouds. Some of these clouds even brought some isolated showers to sections of northern Manchester, northern Clarendon, section of southern St. Anne, southern Trelawney, St. James, Hanover, Westmoreland definitely got in on the thunderstorm activity. And if we take a look at the latest infrared satellite images, as a matter of fact, let's reload these images. So we have the very latest. So we can see the very latest is as of 25 minutes past this hour. So this one just came out 9 minutes ago at 7:25, and we can see that majority of the cloud cover has cleared out. Some leftover clouds right there across Hanover and St. James. Not much in the way for rainfall right now, but they definitely got it earlier today. When we look back at the infrared satellite images right here, lots of thunderstorms. We see those sparkling white dots across sections of Westmoreland. Section of Hanover got in on the mix as well. So the forecast definitely verified. If we take a look at the latest Cuban Doppler radar images, so we're reloading right now so that we have the very latest. It should show the 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Doppler radar images, considering that it is 7:34 p.m. Now, if it will load, either way, we can see that we have some rainfall, well, leftover rainfall out to sea to the west of Westmoreland, Hanover right there, associated with what affected us during the afternoon. Not much affecting the rest of the island at all. Nothing to worry about at this time. It doesn't seem like it wants to load at all. Either way, alright, there we go. So this is as of 8:20, 8:30. There we have it. Nothing much to see across Jamaica right now. And if we take a look at the live view from Flatbridge, nothing to see. Dry conditions persisted across the region today. Cars going about their business. Not much at all happening right now. So it's going to be a fair night. Taking a look at the temperatures right now, we can see that we have 28 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 28 degrees Celsius in Kingston. And by about 4 a.m. on Wednesday, temperature should dip down to about 26 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 25 degrees Celsius in Kingston. This map from the GFS is showing the temperature forecast for 18Z on Wednesday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Wednesday. And we see Jamaica right here, embedded in some slight yellow colors that we know represents up to 1 degree Celsius above normal temperatures. And we know the normal temperatures for the month of July across Jamaica are about 91 degrees Fahrenheit. When we take a look at the thermometer, 91 degrees Fahrenheit when calculated is about the same as 32.7 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving anywhere from 32 to 33 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on Wednesday. As it relates to the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Wednesday, we saw that today was definitely clear in the sky, not much hazy conditions at all. But some of this might lift again. We see some slight shades of browns right here from the southern Caribbean into portion of Jamaica. Jamaica right here on the edge of it. And we see a vigorous plume right here to the east of the Caribbean. Look at those dark shades of browns. And we know all of this is pushing from east-west in the flow of easterly trade wind brought about by the ridge of high pressure to the north. So we can only hope that by the time it gets to the Jamaica area, it has dwindled down, but we won't count on that at all. Either way, please ensure that you have your meds ready, asthma, sinusitis, whatever the case may be. You can also see some burns that represent Sahara and dust across portions of Central America, the Gulf of Mexico, the southern and eastern United States as well for 2 p.m. on Wednesday. As it relates to the wave forecast for tomorrow, we can see that both the Euro and the GFS models are still in consensus that the highest wave heights across the Atlantic in general should be to the south of Jamaica, where we see these purples that represent up to 2 to 3 meter wave heights, while the rest of the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico should be in receipt of 0.5 meter wave heights to 1.5 meter wave heights, as we can see by the key on the bottom right. And that's because the winds are not going to be that strong at all. Majority of the basin experiencing anywhere from 10 to 20 knot winds, to the far south of Jamaica and Haiti, 25 knot winds, and we see the general direction for these winds coming in from the east. If we take a look at the wind forecast for tomorrow across Jamaica, we can see that the winds are going to be coming in from the east, but we can also see that the air is going to be piling up again across sections of some western parishes, maybe inland areas of some central parishes again. That's where we have the least amount of winds. So we know all of the low level flow is going to cause those low level clouds to build up in the afternoon. We have that diurnal convection, some mid-level rain clouds, if not some upper level cumulonimbus thunderstorm clouds. So some more rainfall definitely for sure for western Jamaica during the afternoon. And if we get some rainfall in the east, definitely coming off of the sea for a section of St. Thomas and Portland again. And if we take a look at the rainfall forecast, the 1 hour totals, we see some consensus. The Euro model right here and the GFS model right here, showing the blues represent rainfall across sections of St. Thomas and Portland. Usually in the morning, this is 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 9 a.m. Jamaica time, so look out for that morning rainfall if you're in the east. Then, by 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's actually 3 p.m. Jamaica time, we start to see more of the blues that represent rainfall spilling into western Jamaica. You're a bit more robust, showing the blues that represent rainfall across central Jamaica. But remember yesterday's video, the GFS had more of the rainfall across western Jamaica, and we did indeed get some rainfall across inland areas of some central parishes. So maybe section of inland areas of central Jamaica, western Jamaica, and section of eastern Jamaica might still be getting in on some afternoon rainfall by that time. 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we know is 3 p.m. Jamaica time. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus that there's going to be some rainfall somewhere across Jamaica tomorrow, even although the Euro is a bit more robust than the GFS. We'll take it. We're in the month of July, we usually receive less rainfall during this month. Kingston's bar graph right here at the top, in millimeters up to 50 millimeters of rainfall we usually get in the month of July. Montego Bay's bar graph at the bottom, we usually get up to 3.1 inches of rainfall during July. By the way, you can do the math yourself. 1 inch of rainfall is up to 25 millimeters of rainfall. So you can definitely calculate it for your own viewer pleasure, and you can also visit weatherandclimate.com to find out about the annual rainfall for your specific parish. Alright, so that is it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So we can see that they got in on some amount of rainfall across the Windward Islands today. Maybe a trough or maybe a weak tropical wave, whatever it may be. Either way, we can also see that Northern South America, section of Central America got in on some thunderstorm activity, nothing new. And if we take a look at the Doppler radar images of the northeastern Caribbean, we can see that there wasn't much in the way of rainfall across the Leeward Islands. When we roll back the time to about 1:50 p.m., we saw some afternoon isolated thunderstorms across section of western Puerto Rico as usual. We can also see some hit or miss isolated shores across the US and British Virgin Islands, St. Kitts and Nevis, Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda. But look at that, we can see that we had a rain band coming into section of Guadeloupe today. And if we take a look at the latest image as of 7:35 p.m., we see that yes, we have some isolated showers here and there, but nothing too serious. If we take a look at the Barbados radar, we can see some rainfall coming in to Barbados, maybe across sections of southern and eastern Barbados as we speak. We can also see some rainfall coming into sections of Martinique, sections of northern St. Lucia. We can also see some rainfall coming into sections of Grenada, and some rainfall right there to the west of Tobago. Trinidad definitely getting on some rainfall as we speak too. Look at that. If we take a look at the wider view of Doppler radar images, We can see some rainfall right there passing to the north of the ABC Island. Some of that rainfall might make it there later on tonight. We can also see some rainfall right there to the south of Florida. They definitely got in some thunderstorms today. And if we take a look at the rainfall forecast, both of these maps from the Euro and the GFS are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Wednesday. And we can expect some rainfall within that time frame for some areas such as Florida, the Bahamas, section of Cuba, sections of Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, the US and British Virgin Islands. Not much in the way of rainfall for the Leeward Islands, but definitely north from Guadeloupe southward. We can see those yellows, Dominica, Martinique, sections of St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados might get in on the mix. You can also see some rainfall in store for section of Guyana, sections of Venezuela, Colombia. Not much in the way for Suriname or French Guiana, but definitely Panama, Colombia, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, especially in eastern Honduras right there. While some isolated shores could be possible for a section of El Salvador, Guatemala, and Belize, as well as sections of the Cayman Islands. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with this forecast. I know that when they're in consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.